is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Oh my god. Sound good? Within the first to second week of January, I should finally get an idea of what I'm going to owe by the end of January so that you could all send me money. You guys have been really supportive. You know, the other day I got an awesome tip from a Secret Santa. Some people are just fucking idiots. What else can I say? You gotta be an idiot.
Everything's been great, but I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? Like, I have not raised enough. From what I'm being told the estimates are for what I'm going to owe by the end of January and what my tax attorney is going to end up billing me for all this work. Yeah, I've not made, nearly enough yet to compensate for what I'm going to owe.
And, the money's not going to just come from the sky. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control. DSP is a greedy fuck.
So, here's the thing. All week, I've been pushing Patreon. I've been saying, guys, if you want to really help me out, please pledge to my Patreon. This is how you can do it. And sadly, I did get a couple pledges earlier this week.
But it's been very slow. And this sucks because right now we're about $125 away from hitting the standard Patreon goal, which means that I'll be doing a redemption run of either Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3 in January. And we're about $1,000 away from hitting the stretch goal, which means I'll be playing both. It's a necessary thing. You have to pay a little bit more.
All right. Now, the thing is, it's not that people aren't being supportive. It's that people are being supportive everywhere else besides Patreon. And at this point, it's making me nervous for a couple reasons.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
So let me give you some perspective here. All right. Number one, it's great that people tip me and all that, but tips through, PayPal, which is what people have been doing, are not guaranteed, meaning there's some potential that at some point down the road, someone who's been tipping me can potentially say, oh, those aren't legit, and then try to dispute all the tips with PayPal, and then it's basically an annoying system where I have to go back and respond to every dispute and everything. It's a real pain in the ass. Versus Patreon, people who actually contribute via Patreon, it's guaranteed. Once it's charged, it's charged. There's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's in there.
Their money, give their money. Then that's all I care about. So Patreon is actually more foolproof than tips. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer Patreon. And I'm seeing no active patron pledges coming in. This is disturbing me. It's making me very nervous, all right? And I don't like being nervous. I like being happy. Fuck you!
I actually made a tweet this morning. It's the God's honest truth. I woke up this morning early, about an hour early than I usually wake up. And I was like, all right, well, I got a little bit extra time. Let me go back to sleep. I couldn't. I was actually so excited about coming to stream today and playing LA Noire with you guys. And then later tonight doing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and being able to debut the year-end series for you tonight. I was actually excited to come to stream. I was like, wow, this is a feeling that, I've had a lot this year. And when I think back the past few years, I haven't really had that feeling. It's like, I got it back. I got the bug back for coming and sharing my gameplay experiences with you guys. It's like, it's cool. It's positivity. It's fun. It's something amazing that I love to get back. Loving what I do for a living,
That's 100% a lie. But it sucks when I have these stupid things that make me nervous in the background. I'd like to have them out of my mind so I can focus solely on the positivity for the next few months, right? By the way, I really desperately need the money to help with my tax situation. So, hint, hint, save the house.
So, that being said, what I think I'm going to do this Saturday, for the first time ever, okay? For the first time ever. I've never done this before. I think I'm going to do a Patreon Drive / kind of fundraising style stream.
Huh?
And what I mean by that is that all day Saturday, I'm thinking I'm going to play the stuff that people want to see. What do people want to see the most right now? For some reason, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't love the game, but I don't hate it either. Like, I just laugh at it because it's so bad on Xbox One. It's an entertaining experience every time I play it. Okay? So what I think I'm going to do is a stream where basically the purpose of the stream is to just dick around, have some fun, have mostly just discussions with you guys while I play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and hopefully, through, repeated mentioning of it, what I'm hoping is that, I'll be able to get some people who normally would not have pledged to Patreon to pledge to Patreon. Alright?
This kind of shit needs to come out. This kind of shit needs to be exposed for what it is. It's greed. It's greed. And the thing is, I really, really, really need the support right now. Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
And, Patreon is the way to, I think if I sit here and I focus on it, because the thing is, a lot of other streamers do this.
It's not about the money. It's not.
Streamers have these tip cups that they have that fill up during streams, and they regularly do this stuff. I don't. Usually what I do is I do a pre-stream where all I do is mention the plugs during the pre-stream, that's it. And then for the rest of the day, I just play games and have fun, and I'll do shout-outs for any contributions that you guys do. Okay?
Anything for this, right?
I think it's the way to go. And I think that, doing a session like that will give more awareness to Patreon as well. Because the bottom line is I don't really mention it that much outside of pre-stream. So anyone who isn't here for the first half an hour of my streams every day literally has no idea my Patreon exists. And especially YouTubers too. People who watch me on YouTube probably have no clue that Patreon exists. Because, they don't pay attention to that. I don't really plug it on YouTube at all that often. So that being said, folks, I think Saturday is going to be the first time I've ever done a session like this, where it's going to basically me be dicking around in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds kind of all day long, and it's less about the gameplay quality, but more about me just talking with you guys and shooting the shit and having fun, and hopefully...
Fundraising. It's a scam. That's terrible. That's such a terrible thing.
Now, what I mean by that is, I already mentioned this yesterday, and I mentioned it on Twitter, for those who do pledge to my Patreon from now till the end of the month, I'm going to give you a shout-out on stream just like everybody else gets.
So I think that's going to motivate people to pledge to Patreon. This Saturday is going to be a big, first ever special fundraising event. Oh my God. And it's going to be more interactive than anything else. It's really not about the gameplay. It's more about just hanging out with me. And, hopefully, if things go well, motivating people to pledge, so at the very least, we can at least have one goal. I mean, it would be spectacular if I could hit both goals, do the stretch goal for this month. Because that would literally be $1,000 extra that will go straight towards this tax situation with my house. So, save the house.
You are incorrect, Leonaris. Leonaris is so wrong on, so many issues. I'm not trying to be negative. First thing he says on the stream,
I think you're moving too fast with your current girlfriend. Well, no one cares. That's not even your business. And now he says, well, people are going to pledge, or people are going to give you tips because tips are instant. Well, Patreon isn't. No, it's not. You're wrong. Patreon is instant.
Patreon, I get immediately. The way my Patreon is set up, that when you pledge, it's a pre-charge. So to pledge to my Patreon, you get charged immediately, just like a tip. So I actually get patron funds immediately, just like tips.
Oh my God, excuse me. Oh.
Alright, well, sadly I have to time some people out. I'm trying to be very calm, and I'm trying to be laid back here today, folks, but you got some people who are just being stupid in the stream chat and think they're know-it-alls.
I'm not a whiny baby. I'm a mature adult.
Yes, of course, you know all my personal situation. Sure you do. It's very frustrating when, I'm being real with you guys, and I'm opening up, and I'm telling you the truth.
I know you're lying.
And I'm talking, and then you got people, 4 years ago, you should have had the hindsight to know that YouTube revenue was going to drop, and you shouldn't have bought all that stuff for that house. It's like, what are you, stupid? Yes. 4 years ago, we all should have had crystal fucking balls and seen what was going to happen with the amount of trolling that I put up with, and all the nasty stuff that happened to me, and, yeah, I'm going to have that foresight. Okay. And then you got people who are like, well, I thought that he got a giant tip the other day. Yeah, I got one giant tip. You're correct. That didn't magically pay off the thousands upon thousands of dollars of that I'm going to owe by the end of January. It was one very nice tip. It was very much appreciated from a Secret Santa. Did it help? Absolutely. Did it magically cure all my problems? No. But that's the thing. Oh, you got one big tip. Therefore, why is he still talking about this?
It wasn't $1 million tip. You feed me more. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me. You created the monster, you unleashed the monster, and now your complaint is, well, the monster's too powerful to control. Well, fuck you. That's your fault. Shout outs.
when I started streaming today, we had a few people who contributed. We have Tevin the Stalker. Obviously, this is someone who's basically parodying Tevin, one of my stalkers. All right. Did a $20 tip.
Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you. Really, thank you.
Thank you very much, whoever this is, whoever did really tip me $20. And they said, this is for the 5+ hours of hard work you did for the most disappointing games countdown. A question, why not make the entire countdown in one video? I think it makes more sense. Well, it's very simple. It's 13 entries. Each entry I talk about for about 3 minutes. If I did one video, the countdown would be about 40+ minutes long, which most people say is way too long for any kind of video. They don't like that. They like small, digestible videos.
I have a micro penis. And then when I did the research, I found out that basically there's no way to make your dick grow. Anything longer than that, you lose retention.
Brits94 did a 10-bit cheer and said, how much have you raised for your taxes so far? Are we doing good? Well, in general, all right, what you got to understand is that anything that people tip towards me or whatever is all going kind of into the same pool. It all kind of goes into the same, general pool. And it goes towards everything. So, for example, I'll give you an example here. Just the other day, I had to sit down, and I had to pay my federal taxes for the year. I had to pay a small tax bill for my tax attorney that I owed him from the work he did in November. And a few other. There was actually a sewer tax bill I had to pay for my stupid condo that I'm stuck with in fucking Connecticut, which I hate. So all that kind of went out. In general, I think I've raised about maybe $2,000, I would say.
I'm good at lying.
Which is good, because that's probably going to be enough either to cover at least some of the tax bill that's going to be due at the end of January, or to cover the tax attorney. I don't know, because I don't know what they're going to be. I have no idea. I wish I could tell you guys right now, here's what I owe, and here's what we have towards it. I don't know. I don't even know what I owe. I won't know until at least like a week or two passes in January, because what I need to do is figure out how much money I made this year, which I won't know until the end of this year, right? Because keep in mind, all these patron pledges, tips, and everything coming in right now counts as my income for 2017. Once I have a final number of what I made this year, I provide that to my tax attorney. They'll do their work, and then they'll be able to give me, okay, this is what you owe by the end of January. Boom. Okay, this is what you owe us for doing this work. Boom. Good. Then what's going to happen is the state of Washington is going to work with my tax attorney to figure out what I owe on back taxes, okay, which is going to be thousands and thousands of dollars, I'm sure. And they're either going to tell me you owe it in one lump sum, which I hope not, because I don't have the money, or they're going to divvy it out and say, okay, here's a payment plan, okay? So I can't, what did I raise? Probably roughly around $2,000 between the big tip the other day and all the smaller stuff that's been coming in the past couple of weeks. Probably about $2,000, which is good. That's excellent. That's going to help me big time, but it's certainly not enough to get me out of the situation, which is why I'm like, man, if people would pledge to Patreon, that would be tremendous. You know what I mean? So there you go.
Silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
All right, here we go. So Burnell, an obvious troll, did a 10-bit cheer. He says, hypothetically, if Tevin were to show up in real life while you were playing the newest Spider-Man game. Ah! That shit did that yesterday, too. That shit's too loud, man. Anyway, if Tevin were to show up in real life while you were playing the newest Spider-Man game, what would you do to him? Obviously, I would immediately start making sweet, sweet love to him.
I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, totally gay. Phil's a faggot.
Immediately, it would just be massive lovemaking all over the place. I mean, anyone who just makes a entirety of their life based around basically trying to talk about me constantly, try to find out private information about me, every video they make is drama about me. They all are in love with me, so I'll just make fucking amazing sex with them immediately.
It's gross. Stop being a moron. Seriously, stop. I'm serious. Stop.
And their whole life will be blown away. There you go. There's your answer. Because you know that's what really all they want.
What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck. I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God I wish I fucking was.